The lads, welcome back to Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is our player ratings: Arsenal 2, Chelsea 2. I still can't believe we picked up a point in that game. I can't believe how Arsenal did it, but in the end, we actually did it. So let's dive into some of the performances. Let's rank every player's performance out of 10. Help me do that in the comment box below by reacting to every player's performance tonight. Right, let's get into with David Raya. For me, 5 out of 10. Now, with David Raya, it's kind of complicated because the penalty is none of his business. He's got nothing to do with the penalty, so you don't blame him. The second goal, maybe could have done better in terms of positioning. Maybe could have done better if he was on his line. If he was closer to his goal line, then he could have done a little bit better, probably tipping the ball over the bar and doing much better in that position. So I would say the second goal, he can do better. I'm not going to blame him really so much, but I would say he could do better. He could have done better. Now, the mistake that he committed, that Cole Palmer eventually doesn't score, that is where my marks actually go down. I would have given him a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, but for me, he's still shaky. There's still those shaky moments. You can see that the defense is actually fighting for him. The players love him. The players really understand his game, but he's got to eradicate those mistakes in his game. So I'll give him a 5 out of 10, pretty much average today. There was nothing much to do for him, despite the fact that Chelsea were really attacking. I thought we annihilated, and we, not really annihilated, but we neutralized their attacks. Most of the time before they got to the goalkeeper. I kind of feel like he should have done better in this game. He could have looked a little bit better in this game, even with his distribution. Alexander Zinchenko came off at half time. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. He was outdone by Raheem Sterling. And I think Mikel noticed it. He had a yellow card first and foremost. But then also, I don't know why Mikel is stubborn. These are not the kind of games where these are not the kind of games where you play Alexander Zinchenko. They have Raheem Sterling, they have Mikhailo Modric, they have Noni Madueke. They're going to bring players that are happy to take on your wingers. They're going to bring players that are happy to actually, blast with pace past Alexander Zinchenko. So I don't blame Zinchenko in this game. I don't think he's happy to defend. I think he's happier to go forward than defending. So I'll give him a 4 out of 10. Tomiyasu coming in that position does very well, 7 out of 10. And Raheem Sterling, that was the last time Raheem Sterling had any kind of a bit of joy. Look, Tomiyasu should have played this game 90 minutes, and Mikel knows that. Look, if you bring in a player like Tomiyasu and he completely changes the game, it shows you that right from the start he should have started in that position. So for me, Tomiyasu 7 out of 10, Alexander Zinchenko 4 out of 10. Ben White, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Played 90 minutes. He gave away the ball for the second goal. He played it into Martin Odegaard. And I think he gives in a really poor pass that Odegaard has nothing to do but to, just give up on the ball and then lose possession. I just don't understand what he was trying to do, Ben. Pass the ball forward. Try to pass the ball forward. If he doesn't try to cut it back for Odegaard, if he tries to pass it forward, we would have lost possession, but we don't actually find ourselves in a very precarious situation. So for me, Ben White, 6 out of 10, played 90 minutes. Eventually, the boys got a chance to redeem themselves, but I wasn't really happy with the general performance of Ben. 6 out of 10. William Saliba, 6 out of 10 as well. Now, again, Saliba in this game didn't have a poor game really, because anyone will talk about the penalty and everyone will talk about, he brought out the penalty. But the penalty is debatable. The penalty is questionable as well. Is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? In the end, if they give it, it's okay. If they don't give it, in my eyes, it's okay as well. But why I'll give Saliba a 6 out of 10, Gabriel was much better today. And this is one of the games where Gabriel Magalhaes was massively better than William Saliba. In all the games we have always seen Saliba kind of better, aging Gabriel Gabriel was superb today, like very good. And William Saliba, kind of silent evening for him. Maybe I shouldn't actually blame him that much, but I don't think he had a very good game, William Saliba. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10, and I really hope he can actually improve in the next game. Gabriel Magalhaes, 7 out of 10. I could have given him an 8 out of 10, but we conceded twice, so I wouldn't really give a defender 8 out of 10, while we have conceded twice and not even won the game. He had a chance to score a header in the first half or second half. I think it was in the second half, and he missed it. He's good at scoring headers, and I want him to get back to that business of scoring headers, because at times it gives us those goals that are very crucial. In this game, Gabriel was superb. Gabriel was very, very good. His energy, his running, he was all over the place, and he was the only reason standing between us and a third goal from Chelsea. He really had a very good game. He actually played very, very well. So I think what Mikel Arteta aimed to do and intended to do at the beginning of the campaign is actually coming around. Less mistakes from Gabriel, more commitment, and more quality from the player. I can actually see more quality. He's now being called up for Brazil even more, which means that they trust him better, and Arsenal can trust him better as well. So Gabriel had a very good game, 7 out of 10. Jorginho, 4 out of 10. And with Jorginho, I'll give him a 4, but it should definitely be a 3 out of 10. Sloppy in possession, very sloppy in possession. Did not help the team in terms of winning the ball back, and in terms of pressing, in terms of reducing Chelsea dominance, he was not the guy. Now, I'm not going to blame Jorginho because he doesn't pick himself, and he didn't know that he was going to play in this game. Honestly, Mikel has got answers to provide. He's got answers to provide. How is Jorginho playing as many minutes as played in this game? How is Jorginho starting this game? And what is the real essence of playing Jorginho against Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge? Because he understands them? No. There's a new manager. It's a new team. They've invested and injected a lot of money in there. So it's a new system. It's a new team. It's everything is new. So if he wanted us to believe that he played Jorginho, courtesy of him knowing Chelsea, the fresh graduate from Chelsea is Kai Havertz, not Jorginho. So for me, 0 for Mikel Arteta for picking Jorginho. Like, he doesn't get a point in that. But Jorginho, I think the game was beyond him. Chelsea kept on running. They were pressing at a high tempo. They were doing everything quickly, and their decision making, especially in midfield, was absolutely incisive. I think that's where Arsenal lost the midfield. We lost the midfield when Jorginho was actually in the middle of the park. So I'll give him a 4, but I wasn't impressed at all. I don't think I was impressed with Jorginho. I don't think that there was something good in his performance. Declan Rice, 8 out of 10, man of the match. Reason why we signed 105 million pounds. That is the reason. West Ham sold to us one of the best defensive midfielders, but they didn't factor into things like leadership, character, belief, resilience, and things like that. And I think that's what Arsenal have. That's what we have in Declan Rice. We have a lot more than they offered us. We have a lot more than they thought they gave us. Just to point this out, I think Declan Rice is better as a defensive midfielder rather than as a box-to-box. I still think he's better there. I still think we've got to rely on him. We've got to trust him. And when we trust him, eventually, he will get it right. He will absolutely get it right. So, for me, Rice was the best player in midfield. The rest of the midfield was dead. Like, creative-wise, nothing. Defensive-wise, they didn't try to help him. I could only see one player trying to do anything in midfield. That was Declan Rice. Martin Odegaard, 3. Now, with Odegaard, we've got questions to ask as well, and we need answers. Is the manager playing him wrongly? Probably, right? Probably. Is the manager, maybe the manager is not playing him wrongly, but has he dropped in terms of form? Maybe, probably. But then we've got to ask questions why. Now, this is Odegaard's probably third or fourth performance this season that has been very poor. Tottenham Hotspur at the Emirates Stadium, Fulham at the Emirates Stadium, Lens away in France, um, Chelsea now. Those are 4 or 5 performances where Odegaard has been clearly very poor. I don't understand it. Is it because of Saka and Saka not being in games? Is it because teams have found him out? I don't know. Or he has just not started the season very well. We could say 3 out of 10. One of the worst performances you could ever get from him. We know he's a good player. We know he's that talented, and we know he's got that kind of quality that all of us want. But in this game, I wasn't convinced at all. I wasn't convinced. Maybe Miguel needs to rethink the system. Maybe Miguel needs to rethink, I don't know. Is it the departure of Granit Xhaka? I cannot even tell. I really cannot tell. But in this game, no, very poor. It's one of those. It's one of those few games where you don't see him try to shoot. You don't see him try to make a through ball. You don't see him try to make things work out. It's one of those games. He had a very poor performance. Gabriel Jesus 4 out of 10. Jesus a bad day in office probably. Again, Jesus was I wouldn't really blame Gabriel Jesus. One, I think Chelsea were better. Like they were really better than us, and we didn't give him any kind of service. We didn't try to win the ball back as a team. We didn't give him any kind of support. So we let him get isolated by Lovie Colwill, Axel Disasi, and Thiago Silva. And in the end, there was nothing could do. I think we need to rethink creativity. We need to rethink how this team creates chances. We need to rethink how this team is going to be winning games, right? We need to rethink our creativity. We can't blame Gabriel Jesus for not scoring goals, yet he's not getting the chances. Like, yes, he's not a goal scorer, striker, what, but we've got to ask ourselves, yes, he's not a goal scoring, striker, but are we feeding him? Are we giving him the chances? We are actually not giving him the chances. So, 4 out of 10, but I kind of pity him. There was no service. Bukayo Saka, 7 out of 10. Now, I'll give Saka a 7 out of 10 for 2 reasons. 1, he provides the assist for Leandro Trossard. 2, I don't think he's fully fit, but he never gave up. Those are the 2 reasons. Generally, his performance was appalling. His performance was very poor. His performance was very poor. But I'm going to give him that benefit of the doubt that in a very, stiff game, in very stiff conditions, he kept on believing, and somehow he gives us a win. Somehow he gave us, a win in this game. A win we don't even deserve as well. So Saka 7 out of 10. Not a good performance, I would say, but not a bad performance as well. Not the worst performance. Bad performance, but not the worst. Gabriel Martinelli, I'll give him an 8 out of 10 as well. I think Gabi, him and Rice were the best players on the pitch by far. Like, best players on the pitch by far. You could see him, especially in the second half, trying to make things happen. You could see him trying to, make sure that Arsenal are in the game. You can imagine. He tried to make sure that Arsenal in the game, trying to shoot, doing things like that. And he was isolated as well. He was really isolated, big time in this game. But 8 out of 10, he kept on trying. Kai Havertz, 7 out of 10 when he came on. I thought he was electric. And he played in the number 10. So maybe we are getting to know more about Kai, where he wants to play, how we can use him, and things like that. But the 10, I thought he was good. Emil Smith-Rowe, 4 out of 10, didn't make any sense to me. The substitution didn't make any sense to me. I don't know why Mikel brought him on. 4 out of 10. Trossard, 8.5 out of 10. Picks up a point again, comes to the rescue of the team from the bench. The first game was against Everton. The second game was this one. He's sending signals to the manager that you've got to play me. I'm one of your best options. You've got to play me. If you do not play me and you don't win games, then you only have yourself to blame. Mikel Arteta. I give him a 5 out of 10. I mean, he picks up a point at the Stamford Bridge. Some of his substitutions worked out well. I think his team selection needs to be asked questions, but yeah, I would go with that. I'll go with a 5 out of 10. And the referee, still, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I think his refereeing officiation was actually good.